Hello basketball players, my name is Basketball Coach Alan, and today I'm going to show you how you can become a better center in basketball and how you can essentially be the best center in basketball. Okay, so first off, if you don't already know my backstory, really quickly in 20 seconds, basically I was a center all the way up until grade 11. Grade 11 I changed into a guard, and then I went on to play in the NBA Development League in a training camp before I got injured. So these are all of the tips that I've gotten over my time so that you can become a better center in basketball. So in basketball, there is now, unlike when I was a player, there is now what's called positionless basketball. So whether you are a guard like myself or you're a center, you're going to be playing pretty well any position on the court at any given time. So you're going to need to know, no matter what position you're playing, how to play center. Now, center in basketball generally, historically, is for the taller, bigger players on the court. Players like Shaq, Yao Ming. Players like today, as in Dwight Howard, if he still gets to play in the league. Players like that. Bigger players. However, guards can play center as well. And today I'm going to show you some tips and give you some tips and tricks on how you can play center no matter what position you're playing. Okay, so first off, you are most likely going to be stuck in the low post unless your team is playing a 5-out offense. Now, in the low post, there's a few tips that I can give you so that you can become better. Number one, you need to get low and make a target. So, you don't want to be, a lot of players, especially guards, they'll post up in the key. You're only really allowed to be in the key for 3 seconds. Going from there, some players will start in the low block because they always hear their coach saying, get to the low block, get to the low block. And generally speaking, the low block is the box that's down here. But I'm going to tell you where you should be, and that is 1 foot out from the key and up to the first hash mark. The reason for this is because now it gives yourself room to operate. You can go towards the middle of the key. You can also take baseline, and it also comes down to where your defender is forcing you as well. But going from there, this gives you a good area to work in. There's many different moves that you can do. I've showed you a few on this, actually quite a few on this channel, but basically some simple moves are the up and under, where you use your left pivot foot, fake a shot, and then you can go through once your defender goes in the air and you can go for your shot. That's one move. Another move, what's very basic, is if he's on your left side, you can do a drop step in and go up for your shot. There's quite a few different moves. Of course, I'm going to link a lot of these videos in the description below, as well as in the top comment below if I remember to do so. Another good thing to know is how to dribble. Yes, dribbling is very important when you're a center now because you're going to be out on the perimeter. It's really cold outside, my hands are freezing. But you're going to be out on the perimeter taking many different shots. You're going to need to learn how to shoot. That is a given. When I was a player, if you're a center, you're not shooting, you're in the low post, that's it. Today's game has changed, and you're going to need to know how to shoot 3-point shots. If your coach right now says do not take any 3-point shots, when you're on your own, learn how to shoot them because you're going to need them in the future. There's also the issue where, like myself, I went from center to point guard quite literally in 3 months. So that was a very big learning curve. So keep that in the back of your head while you should learn every position anyways, especially if you're younger. Now, another one is learning your footwork. So when you get that ball, you want to know what you're going to do, what a pivot foot is like, what a drive fake and then pivot and drive is like. Things like that. Practice your footwork. There's a lot of different drills that you can do yourself where you can just spin the ball to yourself, reverse pivot, fake, one dribble, shot. Any move that you do on the court, you can practice over and over and over again on an empty court so that you can get better in it. Now, you see me get out to the mid-range. Now, this is what I like to call the mid-post, because if you're going to do post moves out on the mid-range area, mid-range line, not a line, but an area, you're going to want to know how to do some back-to-the-basket moves. And some back to the basket moves, I'm not talking about what Shaq used to do, which is just power through players to the low post, get an easy shot. What you want to do is different moves, like a turn, pivot foot, turn, maybe one dribble to the side, and take your shot. You might want to go and do a reverse pivot, fake, drive fake, and then drive towards the rim, finish with a left-handed layup or with a reverse, and do those moves over and over again. And I don't just mean spin the ball to yourself, drive fake, 1 or 2 dribbles, take your shot, and then you're gonna go back up here, get it, pivot foot, 1 dribble, shot. I'm talking about doing the exact same move 20, 30, 40, 50 times in a row, because at that point, you're going to remember, it's gonna become muscle memory as to what you need to do. Okay, so from there, you're gonna wanna practice your free throws. You're going to get fouled a ton. So what that means is get to the free throw line every single time you're on the court and practice your free throws. Now, the next thing that you're going to want to do is working on your legs and your core strength and your upper body strength overall. The reason why this is all important is because when you're in the low post, whether you're defending it or whether you're on the offense, what you're going to want to do is have the strength to be able to stay in your position. There's a lot of players who don't work on their strength, and then they finally go up against a player who's a lot stronger than them. And then what happens is they have nothing they can do. They get powered underneath the net, or they can't even block a shot, and that guy scores easily. On the other side of things, on offense, they'll go up against a stronger player, and then basically they get the ball and they're getting pushed out. There's nothing they can do. So you're going to want to be able to work on your strength. Now, there is a program coming up very soon that myself and Coach Bryce, is creating for you guys with really great exercises. You're going to want to check that out again in the link in the description below. But from there, basically, overall, work on your low post skills, work on your 1 to 2 dribble moves, work on your ball handling, work on your 3-point shot, work on your footwork so that you understand, or your body remembers, what to do in game. But you have to be an overall player these days. So it's not just being a center. Being a center is great, but you need to have some guard skills, because think about it. If you're out on the 3-point line and you have a traditional center guarding you, there's not much he is able to do when you're driving towards the rim. Look at Giannis Antetokounmpo as an example. When you've got Jonas Valanciunas lined up against him, when you've got other traditional centers lined up against Giannis Antetokounmpo, there's not much they can do. He is a much faster player, he is a much more agile player, and he's the same height as them. So keep that in mind. I hope that this video has helped you become a better center in basketball. If it has, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow for another Twice a Day basketball video.